Hello, I'm Ali Mackie and welcome to Ali Mackie's Bright Ideas. Today, for our second episode, I've got the little plants back again because I just think they're so lovely. I'm just particularly fascinated by the structure of this one. The blooms all came off, although this little one's just making an appearance, so it's been a little while since that one has bloomed, but the structure of it's amazing, and we've got the yellow one that's sort of on the outs, but it's still quite sweet, although I did just focus on one last time. We'll see what happens this time. I have got a paint palette here, which is the remnants of paint that was used when I was working on the 4 peony paintings that are in the background, just still kind of thinking about those. And I've got some of last time's A4 paper set ready, so I shall angle this so that you can see what's going on, and let's see where it takes us this time. So I might just rearrange that a little bit. So just kind of making some intentional marks with the paintbrush, and then I've got 3 different pencils that I'm going to use as well. Just kind of an exercise in using up old paint, really, because there's absolutely no reason why things should go to waste when you are creating pictures. I learned this lesson recently, and you know, other professions, other industries have ways of making them efficient and using all the materials. And yeah, okay, so these colors might be finished with, but they're still great colours to do something else with. I've also got, you can't see, it's just off screen, but I've got a piece of paper that I'm going to be wiping my brush off with. This is my throwaway board. Normally when I'm painting a series of pictures, I will actually have a spare board next to me. I've been working on board a lot recently. And so I will wipe my brush on the board. In fact, here's an example just down here of a throwaway panel. So when I'm finished painting, I will wipe my brush before I dip it in the water to clean it off. And then it kind of gives you, I don't know, it just gives you something to work with the next time you start a new project. I think it's really interesting starting with marks that have already been made on a page. It's a little bit of previous history or something to work against. The term call and response has popped up with art making recently for me. It's like you put down one mark, and what does that call you to do next? What's your next move going to be? So if you've already got some information to work with, I mean, the chances are the throwaway panels get completely covered, but when you start to, especially with acrylic paint, which is the paint I like to use, that's what's on the palette at the moment, you just end up with all of these layers that when you're working through it, then say you've got a piece of sandpaper, I don't know if it might do something, I'm not so good with paper, but you know, these layers start to emerge of what was there before, this little history of things to work with, and it's just a really interesting way of not being precious about things, because I think the minute you start to be precious about something that you're working on, everything gets all very tight and constrained, and I don't know, loses its sparkle. personality. So keeping things playful and just seeing what happens and where do the marks go. Oh, I'm going to cheat. Is it cheating? I'm going to get something out my basket and make some different marks in the paint. Not sure I'm liking that very much. Let's start again. See, and just like that, it's all back to where you want it to be. The marvelous thing about working with acrylics is this ability to paint over, which starts to get your layers activated. Just getting a little dark in here, and there's the sense of another branch. And at the moment, it's almost time for the school's holidays to break up, and it's during the school holidays I kind of step back a little bit from what I've been doing, because my mummy duties take over, and we've got lots of lovely things, lots of activities planned to keep us entertained over the school holidays. So it's kind of quite a liberating time at the moment. I'm working on a number of things behind the scenes for my business, which hopefully I'll be able to talk about a little bit more shortly. Working on a new website, getting that under construction. It's really important to be able to have, for an artist to be able to share easily and clearly projects you've been working on, collections that are available, finished and available to purchase, and also a place to be able to share moments like this. So I'm working on a platform that will allow me to do that, which is really, really exciting. Quite out my comfort zone. I mean, somebody had asked me a month ago if I was going to have a YouTube channel. I would probably have laughed and said, that would be crazy talk. Yet, here we are. Here we are indeed. So I'm going to set up, because I'll run these, there'll be opportunities to look at these on my website and on my YouTube channel as well, and maybe some other areas too. So I will make sure I share the prompts, and I'll do a little introduction on Instagram as well. So all the usual places to come and find out what's going on. I love combining different materials together, hence being a mixed media artist. This hopping around between one material and another, I think it just offers so much possibility, and I don't know if you're like a little bit flighty in how you like to work, hop from one thing to another, just bringing in a new material and adding in a different feel to a picture. I think it's just great fun. And again with acrylic, just being able to paint over and through things, adding this different dynamic. You know, what I'm creating, I wouldn't exactly say it's particularly beautiful, but that's not really the point. The point is just to play and explore and use up this extra paint, and maybe I'll discover something I quite like along the way that I can use for something else. What other colours can I find out here? There's a bit of yellow. Where can the yellow go? There I was with my throwaway paper, but I seem to just be working wet on wet, which is actually quite a satisfying thing in itself to do. Let's see what happens with the marks. You can see I'm often quite intense with the pressure that I use when I'm creating paintings and drawings. I think I just like the intensity of the mark that you're able to get when you do apply a lot of pressure. Yes, I often break pencil leads, but that's what pencil sharpeners and scalpel blades are for, to sharpen things up. So I think it's the pot that is probably the most successful element of this. At the moment. Not so fussed about that. Even using a paper towel, you end up with activating the mark in a different way. The other great thing about applying quite a lot of pressure to a picture is it kind of gives a key to when you pop other colours down, it can collect in the fold, like in the groove, which I think is really quite exciting. Like ink pooling in a trough. Wet out. If you catch acrylic, there's kind of like this magic moment just before it started to dry, and it's sort of semi-drying. You can catch some of it. Not quite like you would, I think, with watercolor paint, because it reactivates instantly. But you can take a little bit of the surface off, and you're almost left with this quality of like almost like this inked mark that is left on the paper, which I think is really, it's just activating different types of marks, and that's what it's all about. How can I play and create interest in what I'm doing? Interest for me as much as anybody else. Oh, there we go. That's my little timer to say that my 15 minutes is almost up. So thank you so much for watching and joining in. I hope you got your paints out too, or you've got some paints left on a palette. That's what I've done, for what it's worth. It was really great fun to do this, and I will see you next time. Thank you. Bye.